Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. I'm Troy Grimmond.
And I'm Brant Farsco. Thanks for tuning in. The Utah Tech men's basketball record is 4-7 in the WAC. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from Saturday's game. The team falls short to University of Texas at Arlington, but that didn't stop the Trailblazers from making plays all night. That is Tanner Christensen slamming it down with two hands. With a near miss by Hamdo Linnick, Arlington gets a quick layup for two. However, Jalen Sears pulls up from deep, and he hits the three-pointer. A loose ball has both teams fighting for the ball, resulting in a foul for Utah Tech. Things then get a little heated as an Arlington player pushes Searles and gets a technical. Now that's just not nice. The Trailblazers answers back with another dunk by Christensen. Look at him go. Nolan Gonzalez, he catches the ball at the three-point line, he drives in for a layup and gets a shooting foul called. Searles then sprints down the court for an easy one-hand dunk. Gonzalez, he redeems himself from earlier with the layup, almost running into the camera operator. Angelo Kumbala hits a three-pointer towards the end of the game, but it isn't enough to secure the win. Arlington wins 87-66.
Blazers women's basketball are red hot coming into rivalry week with a record of 13-9 and a dominant 12-point win over University of Texas Arlington. Once again, the Blazer trio of the Warren twins and Brianna Gillen continued to dominate the court. Gillen racked up a double-double with 14 points and 11 assists, and the Warren twins scored 39 out of 72 points for the Blazers. Maddie with 25 and Macy with 14. This squadron is rolling up north for a rivalry matchup against SUU tonight at 6:30 p.m. With the WAC tournament about a month away, the team currently sits at fourth in the standings with a 7-4 record. Assistant coach Matt Toon says the team is healthy with no injuries and needs to stay locked in order to keep working towards their goal of winning the championship in March.
All right, so I'm here with Coach Toom of Utah Tech women's basketball. Coach, the team is on a 4-game win streak. What have you guys been doing in practice to help you get farther in and get more wins?
I don't know if it's what we're doing in practice. We just got some kids who are pretty locked in and just really talented players. They're clicking on cylinders. I think for what we've kind of been going through this season, the last 4 games, we've been able to find a little consistency. We haven't had injuries. Nobody's been sick. So we've had everybody available. That's
chemistry
healthy.
is at like an all-time high, sort of,
Yep.
kind of like that. That's awesome. Obviously, the end goal is to earn a WAC championship. What do you feel the team needs to do in order to achieve this goal?
I think just keep being locked in. When we go over game plans for our opponents, our kids are really on top of it. They're asking a lot of questions. Offensively, they're sharing it with each other. They're not, consumed with getting their own. They want to see their teammates succeed. And, obviously, got to dodge the injury spell and stay healthy. But, we want to play our best basketball in March, and we feel like we're on the path to do so.
And then this kind of a 2-part question leading into playing in March. What do you think the team needs to do better, and what have they been doing well that's helped them succeed?
I think we've been doing a lot well. So a lot of people, when they watch us, they look at our offensive numbers, right? So we're first in offensive efficiency, first in field goal percentage. We shoot a ton of threes, and people take note of that, right? Mm-hmm. But something that we've been talking to our group about is our defensive numbers are pretty strong right now too. So that goes into what we're talking about with game plan D and then our kids being locked in. I think that something that's kind of been our Achilles heel this season that we're working on it in practice, we just haven't found the cure yet, is offensive rebounding, getting to the free throw line. And I think our kids know that they can improve those things, getting a few more steals a game. If we get a few more possessions and can create something on the offensive end, it's just going to be a good thing for us.
And then is there a certain player that's kind of impacted the way the season has played, like other than scoring points and all that? Because I know the Warrens have been dominating, and so has Brianna. So
yeah, Brianna's been huge. Obviously, nominated for a preseason WAC Player of the Year. But her and Maggie, both as seniors in their leaderships, it's a key thing for us. Maggie's probably one of the toughest kids that I've been around playing college basketball. She's usually hobbling hurt, but she's never going to tell you. She's never going to show it. So both of them bring a different dynamic as far as leadership. But then you look at the Warrens, like you said, and then our other rotational players. They're impacting the game right now. We're getting something from everybody, and that's what it's going to take to finish out the year strong.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you for your time, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Appreciate you.
And they have a 4-game winning streak. Let's see if they can push it to 5 as they play tonight against SUU at Cedar.
Well, just a quick thing, Brant. I mean, you heard it from Coach Toom himself. It all starts in the film room. I mean, you're going to go in there. You got to stay locked in. That's where you're kind of going to pick apart the enemy team that you're going to face. You're going to see maybe on offense, maybe they like to dribble right and go right, and they can't go left as well. Or, their defense, they might be in a heavy pick zone or like just a complete zone defense. And in that case, maybe you can get to the cup, get to the hoop, easy layups, get to the free throw line, find ways to score. And yeah, it starts in the film room, and you just got to stay disciplined, and that's very good on them.
It is. And Maddie and Macy are half of the points for that game was from them.
Oh, they're absolutely dominating along with Brianna. It seems like no teams have found the answer for those 3 yet. And going off that, we can go into men's too. They're playing tonight at home against SUU. Do you have any predictions or thoughts on that, Brent?
Last time they lost and they were at Cedar, it's a different atmosphere, but now they're home. They're at home, and playing at home is a different atmosphere. You have the crowd on your side, the energy's more up. I think they can come out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot of things right too. Coach Judkins said yesterday on the Coach Judkins show that he's starting to get the big men more involved in the game plan. Jalen Searles is starting to get to the hoop more often, drive in and use his big body. Same with Tanner Christensen. Judkins is kind of implementing a heavy big man offense where it's big man to big man, Tanner passing to Jalen or Jalen passing to Tanner, trying to get it down low, get to the free throw line, or come out with a bucket.
I will definitely be at that game.
Moving on from basketball, the softball season is right around the corner, and this All-Star Blazer team is prepared to kick it off at the Candrea Classic. Over the span of 2 days, the Blazers will play 5 games, one against the University of Arizona and 2 doubleheaders against Lipscomb and Northern Texas. These teams better be prepared because the Blazers have some heavy artillery in their back pocket. These All-Stars include Shea Clemens, the defending WAC Player of the Year, Kate Dolinsky, the WAC Pitcher of the Year, Tanya Windle, the WAC Freshman of the Year, and last but not least, the Blazers coach, Randy Simpkins. And you guessed it, the WAC Coach of the Year. This Blazers team is coming into the season looking to crush their competition and build on their tradition of excellence.
Previous Utah Tech head coach Paul Peterson takes on a new role in athletics while working within the community. Athletics plan to improve the baseball and softball fields, as well as finish the 2nd and 3rd floor of the stadium.
Yeah, so I'm the Associate Athletic Director for External Affairs and Revenue Generation. Working on major gifts for the athletic department, annual giving as well, including Booster Club, ticket sales, in charge of fundraising for the program's needs in the athletic department, in charge of the mentor program, trying to get mentors lined up with the teams to help guide them for sports and then after sports, what that looks like. Yeah, no, we're working on trying to get some floors 2 and 3 done for the stadium, as well as the softball complex. We've got a donation in hand for that from previous years. I'm trying to get some of those projects going. I know that we're working on getting some turf for the baseball team as well. It's basically connecting the community with what we're trying to do. And we're trying to reach outside, not only St. George, but get all of Utah, and if it works in Las Vegas too, to trying to connect with the community and let them know what our initiatives are and what we're trying to accomplish as athletic department. I'm just trying to, like I said, connect with the community as best I can. There's a lot of people in this community that care and that want to help this place grow and be successful. And so my job is to help partner with them and give them a good experience on campus and enjoying our student athletes, and then helping our student athletes be successful with the resources that they need. So it's an easy sell for me to try and get these guys the things that they need. Go Trailblazers.
The Utah Tech Intercollegiate Wrestling team is set to take on Colorado State University tomorrow at 1 p.m. In their last tournament, the men went 6-2 and placed 6th overall in the National Collegiate Wrestling Association Western Regional Duel. For the women's team, they went 3-2 at the NCWA National Duels and had 5 finalists at the NCWA National Freestyle Championship.
Well, Brant, it seems like this team is really ramping up as well. Wrestling, it wasn't as big as when at fall semester, and you can really see that it's flourished into both an outstanding women's team and an outstanding men's team, both having winning records in this last tournament.
And they're getting more and more players. Next season they will have 30 women and 30 men's on each side of the team, so they're just keep on growing and getting more players.
Well, it's huge, and wrestling's such a physical, just a insanely physical sport. I mean, you are judo flipping everyone, you're throwing everyone to the ground. It's a great self-defense sport for the future, and it's a very fun sport to play if, of course, you stick with it and you're disciplined and you just have a good time with it.
After the break, guest anchor Annie Meerbrook will be back with your news update.
It's official. Dixie State University is now Utah Tech University. Our Polytechnic focus combines active learning with career readiness in all of our 250 programs. As one of the fastest growing, most affordable, and safest universities in the country, Utah Tech was recently ranked as a top 10 arts and science college. So, join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
The state of Utah's educational landscape faces shifts with the passing of Law HB 261, also known as the Diversity Bill. It was signed into law by Governor Spencer Cox, and it aims to overhaul diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in colleges across the state and outlaw workplace diversity mandates. At Utah Tech, students and faculty voiced concerns of the loss of essential resources and safe spaces provided on campus. Utah Tech University interim president Courtney White confirms that the university will not change its values. Diversity will still be supported, and our admissions and education should not change. The future of student resources and organizations remain unknown, with HB 261 slated to come into effect July 1st. Stakeholders across the state are anxiously awaiting further clarity on how this legislation will reshape the educational system across Utah. Jumping into athletics, the time has come for the big game, and it is on everyone's minds, the Super Bowl. Will Brock Purdy disappoint Taylor Swift? We know all too well that Taylor Swift
disappoint Taylor Swift.
Yes. Leave it at that.
Say it again?
Yes, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, well, she write a song about it. You never know.
We know all too well that Taylor Swift has a possibility of attending the Super Bowl. Everything has changed for the NFL since Taylor and Travis Kelce have been dating. Since her first attendance in September, Swift has been the mastermind, bringing in over $300 million in revenue for the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL. The real question is if she can make it this Sunday. Swift has made her Eras Tour in Tokyo February 7th through the 10th, but shake it off. The Japanese embassy said to be fearless in knowing that she could make it to Las Vegas in time to see her lover. With the 12-hour flight and 17-hour time difference, there's no doubt she can make it. Long story short, Swifties, this is the ultimate love story, and there's a high chance she will be there next Sunday. After the break, I'll be joining Brant and Troy to talk more about what to expect for Super Bowl Sunday. Stay tuned.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job, it's our promise.
All right, Trailblazers, let's look at some of the Super Bowl what-ifs. Starting off, if the Niners win the Super Bowl, they will get their 6th Super Bowl title in franchise history. The team hasn't won since 1995. Brock Purdy will go from Mr. Irrelevant to Super Bowl champ. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk will be remembered as the athletes that heavily contributed to one of the strongest offenses the league has seen.
As for the Chiefs, they will not only win back-to-back Super Bowls, but will secure their 4th championship in their team's franchise history, 3 of them in the last 5 years. The dynamic duo of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce will take home their 3rd Super Bowl ring. And their name behind it all, Andy Reid, will secure his 4th ring.
This is going to be one of the biggest Super Bowl matchups in history, since it is a rematch of Super Bowl 54 when the Chiefs beat the Niners in 2020. Although, let's talk about what the viewers are expected to see. I, for one, am excited about the Super Bowl commercials. It's one of my favorite things to look forward to. There are some big moments for advertisement this year. We have NYX Professional Makeup and e.l.f. Cosmetics have their first Super Bowl commercials ever, which I think is pretty cool. And Dove has their first commercial in 18 years for the Super Bowl, campaigning self-confidence in women. What are you guys looking forward to see as for the Super Bowl?
Well, for the Super Bowl, I kind of want to talk about the actual game itself. On the Chiefs' side of the end, Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 1 time this entire postseason. one time, and it came against the Ravens. The Chiefs' offensive line is doing a phenomenal job protecting Mahomes, and a quarterback is only as good as his offensive line. Mahomes has so much time to sit in the pocket and deliver it to a receiver or Travis Kelce or Kadarius Toney, or he can hand it off and Pacheco could break out for a 15-yard, 20-yard run. There's a lot they can do with this offensive line.
And just to piggyback off of Annie real quick, and then I'll go back to the game, I'm actually excited to see these commercials because these commercials are what make the Super Bowl so fun. Because if you go live, you can't see these commercials, and these commercials are some that are very remembering. I'm actually surprised to hear that Dove's having their first commercial in over 18 years. That's a very surprising fact to me. But I'm excited to see what companies have out for this year.
You know, before we get back to the game, though, do you know who's performing in the Super Bowl this year? I heard it was Usher.
It's
Usher,
Usher,
right?
yeah, it's Usher.
It's gonna be a great one. Then I see it on TikTok and rumors of Usher playing, and he posted something on his Instagram and his TikTok, like portraying like a character from a show, and everyone was just absolutely going feral for it. And it's gonna be an exciting Super Bowl show for sure.
What song do you think he'll come out and play first?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
I think he's gonna go with for sure. That's one of his classics, or maybe like the DJ's Got Us Falling in Love Again. That's another good one. But back to the game, on the 49ers side of the coin, they have the second best offense in the league behind the Cowboys, and a lot of offensive threats ranging from Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and of course Christian McCaffrey. And they can do a lot with this offense. Deebo Samuel can be a threat on a jet sweep, or you could line him up in the slot and send him deep on a streak. Christian McCaffrey can also line up as receiver, and he's a running back. And what the Chiefs need to do is they need to find a way to somehow limit the 49ers' offensive capabilities. They need to get to Brock Purdy. They need to suffocate him in the pocket.
Well, these are one of the best defense matchups in Super Bowl history. During the regular season, Kansas City only allowed just 17.3 points per game, second best in the league. San Francisco's defense allowed 17.5 points per game and was ranked third. And this Super Bowl is being played in Las Vegas, and since the Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020, the Chiefs and the 49ers are a combined 5-0 at the facility. Kansas City is 4-0 all time in Las Vegas.
Well, it's going to be a huge defensive game too. I mean, you have absolute game changers on both sides of the defensive teams. You have Chris Jones, absolute unit of a defensive lineman, really good at bringing pressure and just getting in the quarterback's face, making him make tough decisions. Maybe that ends up for an interception. And then on the 49ers, you have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Nick Bosa is just like Chris Jones. He's explosiveness. He comes at you from the outside. You won't see him till he's already there. And Fred Warner, little advice for Patrick Mahomes, just don't throw it over the middle. Fred Warner stands at 6'3", 229 pounds, and runs a 4.6 40. If you ask me, that shouldn't be that's not humanly possible. So Patrick Mahomes cannot throw it anywhere near to Fred Warner. He's got good hands. He's a ball hawk, and his exercise of control is all over the middle. He can be everywhere at once.
Patrick Mahomes is currently 28, and if he wins this Super Bowl, he would join Brady and Pro Football Hall of Famer Troy Aikman as the only quarterbacks to win 3 Super Bowls before turning 30. Tom Brady was 30 when he actually completed that. And then to go back to the Chiefs' defense, they really need to make stops, especially in the red zone. The 49ers are ranked first with a 67.2% touchdown rate in the red zone and an 83.3% in the playoffs. So if they get into the red zone, they're probably going to score. So that Chiefs defense needs to keep it up.
And we're just going to leave it on a question here. What's going to happen? Is Patrick Mahomes going to kick off the dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs, or is Brock Purdy going to usurp the Kings and become Mr. Relevant and a Super Bowl champ? And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.